I know I've done you wrong, little darling. I've run around with everything in town. If you'll just tell me you'll forget.
Welcome back to Dr. Joey's mental sciencey, old-timey medicine show. We're working on a general curriculum for halfway house and recovery house residents. This is the second of the actual substantive instructions that you can work on to build this foundation. This is my first run with doing these things, so be patient. Just like when I practice law and do my closing arguments, I do everything in one shot, one take. You gets what you gets. You puts in your quarter, you takes your ride. I think you'll find it useful if you can just get through it. Because today what we're going to talk about is develop some long-term goals. Just like for right now, one of your long-term goals should be to sit through this stupid thing that you have to listen to as a part of your curriculum so that you'll get better. Develop some long-term goals, man. Have something that you want to do that's not pie in the sky or unreasonable. Okay, that's the first thing. Having a long-term goal will help you keep your eye on the prize. Many people think that simply wanting to stay sober is a long-term goal. Well, I mean, it is, but see, the whole staying sober and staying sane is more of a day-to-day thing because we're not promised tomorrow. But we still have to live until we die. So it's very important that you see yourself as something more than just your addiction. And when you do that, you will see that staying clean and sober is more than just a long-term goal. It's not the only goal that you have. When you have other goals involving your education or your career, it can help you stay on track with your sobriety, with your recovery. Even if you fall off the wagon, this other long-term goal in your education or career can help get you back on track. If all you have is staying sober, I hate to say it, but if you relapse, you've lost everything. But what happens if you relapse or you fall off the wagon? Whether relapse on drugs, relapse on emotions, relapse on that good stuff that you just love to have sex with all the time, and you know it's toxic. Having something other than that you still have not fucked up yet is important. Because it makes you scramble around, to try to hold it together, but it's something. Without something like that, it won't work. When you make progress towards accomplishing a specific goal, it reinforces your positive self-esteem. I did it. I overcome these things. And it's important here, I think, for me to explain the difference between good pride and ego and bad pride and ego, because a lot of people confuse those. If I compare my insides to your outsides, and my insides look like, I'm a piece of shit that's been through this, been through that, horrible person, don't turn your back, I'll steal your blind type thing. That's the way I feel inside. And I look at you and you're dressed all nice with the bling bling, you know what I'm saying? You got the gold chains and all. I'm feeling inferior and I'm putting you on a pedestal. Or if I look at someone that's maybe not in good shape, maybe could use a bath, seeming kind of bad, in bad shape, and I'm the one dressed in bling and I feel all superior and like, ha, ha, ha. That's bad too. But if I compare myself to where I'm at now versus where I come from, that's good pride and ego. I can have pride in a job well done. That's the intangible there. And a prime example is I met a young lady about 22, 23 years ago now and ended up marrying her. Well, she was the kind of person that she was a single mom of 2 children. By the time she was 18, she was actually divorced. By the time she was 21, she was a fairly high dollar escort. By the time she was 25, she was fully in her addiction, walking the street, just everything that a drug addiction can do to someone, it did to her. Well, she was about 26 years old, and she said, fuck this, I'm doing something different. And she got herself together. She decided she wanted to go to college, and everybody laughed at her, but she hitchhiked from her job at a construction site all the way to college. She got her a 2-year degree at Truett McConnell College. I met her when she was finishing up her 4-year degree at the University of Georgia. This young lady went on to law school. Then, after a successful practice of law, some things happened, and she ran for county commissioner. And then she became chairman of the county commission. She's got a picture of herself with the governor. She had a long-term goal that helped bolster. The reason for her sobriety was so she could complete this long-term goal. And I can assure you, she and I went wild a couple of times unnecessarily, but she kept her eyes on the prize and she didn't give up. And because she wanted to be somebody one day, she wanted to be better than she was. She never lost sight of it. And she struggled, and she had angst and everything else from the relapses, but she kept going through the motions. She kept going to school. She kept going to work. She took care of her kids. And one day, she looked back, and she was no longer the strung out high school dropout single mom that was pillar to post doing all those horrible things. She had become someone she could respect on the inside. And as a result, other people saw that glow and they respected her. As a matter of fact, this lady is the only person that's ever beat me at my own game, and I have nothing but props for her. Her perseverance shined through because she developed long-term goals. Now, real quick, what is a long-term goal? Well, in my practice of when I practiced law, when I did litigation support, as I did various entrepreneurial projects, I divided everything up into 3 categories: short-term, medium-term, and long-term. Short-term, 30 days or less. Do something on it every day it's about to close out. Medium-term was anything from 1 month out to 6 months out. Typically, I would do something once or twice a week involving that. Long-term goals was anything over 6 months. I would do at least 1 to 2 things a month towards my long-term goals until they turned into medium-term goals, when I would do things once or twice a week. Then when they were short-term goals coming through, I would do things once a week until I closed them out. And I constantly had a rotating series of goals. I went and got my postdoc in clinical hypnotist and hypnotherapy because I had ran out of long-term goals. I had ran out of any type of goals. I had done so many things that just seemed once in a lifetime that I had nothing left and I was bored. And there was nothing else for me to do, so I had to find a new goal. So that's very important. So you want to create a structured environment and a structured schedule so that you know where you have to be and you keep yourself on track and you don't get blown pillar to post. Then you want to create a long-term goal and work towards it. This is where self-discipline comes in. There's a Stoic by the name of Seneca who has a number of YouTube and audiobooks that are free involving discipline and goals and how to get to them. Similarly, there are numerous things out there that you can look up. So do me a favor, write down some short-term goals, some medium-term goals, and some long-term goals that you have that do not involve staying clean. We're going to assume that staying clean is the background noise, that's always there. Something concrete. Do you want to get your GED? Do you want to get a certain job? Do you want to get a promotion? Please, though, do not make the accumulation of money be one of those goals. And the reason why is because many times our addictions will fool us. Our problems will fool us, and we will lie to ourselves and say that, oh, this is my goal to have this money and I'm going to do good things. When in fact, as soon as the money gets up, something's going to happen and you're going to hit those cravings, which we'll go into later. And that craving is going to activate what's called a key stimulus within you. And it's going to start a series of events that have to go through until they're completed. That series of events will be the ritual of your sickness, whether it's addiction, whether it's a toxic relationship or a toxic lover. The money will set you up to go back. And I know that's difficult to understand now, but trust me, have long-term goals that do not involve the accumulation of money, that are travel, education, or otherwise. This has went over a little bit, but I think it's very important for you to understand that long-term goals, other than merely staying clean or sober or merely staying away from your toxic environment, are very important. Take the dream you had as a child. Try to see if you can put together something that will get you there. And you got to live until you die, so you might as well work towards something. Thank you very much. We're going to close this one out here today. Write down your goals. If you do, and you remain on that structured schedule, you got a chance. Just ask that young lady. Her name? No, I better not tell you her name. She's a county commissioner in Northeast Georgia County. She's a very beautiful lady. Lots of perseverance. She can be the example for so many women. And she is the example for so many women who say they can't do it. But they can. She has provided an example. Believe in yourself. Thank you very much. By the way, again, my name is Joey Sapp. I have a doctor of law from the University of Georgia. I have a postdoc in clinical hypnotism, and I'm a certified hypnotherapist. And I've been helping people for about 30 years. Fixing broken people is my job. This curriculum will tell you how to fix your broken self. Thank you. Sorry I went over by 3 minutes.